Always having an idea notebook. Check it out. Hey guys, King of Monk, KOMK. Sorry I've been gone for a little while on holiday. Today I want to talk about having an idea notebook with you always. All right. Before, you can check out on the channel, I talked about the gateway drug to keeping a journal, right? Because I'm big into journaling, writing things down, reflection. This is not necessarily an idea about reflection, but keeping an idea notebook with you always. For mine, you could tell it gets a little thick sometimes, right? And I keep this notebook with me everywhere I go. No matter where I'm going, it's in my bag, it's in my hand, it's in my pocket. It gets a little fat in the pocket a little bit. But nevertheless, I have it with me all the time. Because one of the biggest things is that when we're out on the street, walking around somewhere. I live in Hong Kong, so you're not really driving. I don't drive. I'm either walking, or I'm on the bus, or I'm on the subway, or something like that. And ideas pop into your head, right? And I know we could be sitting there writing them down and digitizing them right away. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other right now. But what I am saying is that it's important to have kind of a collection of your ideas. I'd always heard about Jackie Chan, the great Jackie Chan, that he would just have notebooks and notebooks filled, big binders of all of his movie ideas and ideas that he had for things that he wanted to do. And I'd heard about that a long time ago. And me being someone that is constantly maybe thinking a little too much, I found it to be necessary in order to just, that way you don't have to remember things, right? You get somewhere and you're like, oh, what was I just thinking? I had this great idea for, and then you forgot about it. So keeping an idea notebook that you can just write down things is super important. So one of the major benefits that I find about keeping an idea notebook with you is that you're kind of constantly, kind of creates more of a habit of thinking more, right? You're walking down the street and you have an idea, you know you're going to write it down. So what happens after you write it down? Now you're starting to think about the next steps of the idea. Next thing you know, you're taking a few more steps. Pull the pen out, write it down a little bit more. As your walk, no matter where you're going, you're still kind of in that creative thought process. You're thinking about more ideas or a continuation of that idea. And for me, what I've found is that it literally keeps me thinking. I'm kind of constantly on a thinking, kind of creative thinking type idea habit everywhere I go. Because I know I'm going to pull out my notebook in a minute, I'm going to write it down, I'm going to look at it. So that's one of the most major benefits. Okay. Also, and part of that, like a continuation of that, is something about, it kind of helps to train you to think. A lot of times I know in the West, in America, and in car driving cultures, you get in the car, you turn on the song, your favorite, now it's XM radio, so every song is your favorite song. You're listening to music or listening to podcasts or audio books and stuff like that. And maybe you kind of forget to think about things, right? You kind of take your mind off of things that maybe you should be thinking about. I've found that when always having an idea notebook with me is that it kind of is training me to think about things. I know, okay, I'm going to go run some errands. What am I going to think about while I'm running these errands? What are some of the ideas that I might want to think about in order to kind of keep that process going? And that's what I do. I'll skim through some ideas before I walk out the door. And then as I'm going down the street, I'll start to think about these ideas more, and I'll start to kind of build up on them a little bit more. So that's a really big thing, in that I think it helps to train you to think about things. Another thing is that I think it's good to just have ideas flowing, right? A lot of ideas that I have in this, maybe I'll never use. I'll never really put any energy into in terms of a follow-up on it or anything like that. But I have them to scan through. I'll look through them, and there's some ideas that need more marination. They need to marinate longer. And I know the idea is in here. And I'll come back to an idea later. Maybe it's something I want to write. Maybe it's something I want to read. Maybe it's something I want to learn about. There's a lot of different things I can do in order to benefit from writing down my ideas. Another thing is that it helps to, when you write down that idea, and especially if it's a big idea and something you really want to move forward on, it helps to have it written down, and then you can sit down, maybe you get somewhere. I often, on my walks, because I do a lot of walking and thinking and stuff like that, I'll get to, a cafe or something like that, and I'll have my note. I've taken a couple ideas, put them on paper on my walk, and then I sit down and I build out a mind map on it, or I write the next couple steps of those ideas, or how to implement those ideas into my life or something like that. And this can be very, very beneficial. I think it can be very, very beneficial. I know. Cat. Okay? So that's basically it. I think everybody should have an idea notebook with them. One thing I don't do in my idea notebook is I don't put down my to-do list. My to-do list and things that I need to knock off, my daily checklist, the benefits of keeping a daily hit list. You can check it out, KOMK. And I don't write those down in here, because then you're filling up a page every day maybe of things to do, what you should do for this and that on your daily things that you should do. That should be maybe in another notebook. I keep those on single pieces of paper, and I kind of go through them a lot. So I wouldn't put those in here. These are just ideas, okay? And I really hope that some of you could maybe just try it. Try it for a couple weeks. Get a little small notebook. I got it, the first one, this here, if you look at it, this here is actually 3 notebooks put together. And I just had a piece of leather that I wrapped around it. And I have to, of course, use a rubber band, so that way I can keep it on there nice and tight. Things don't fall out and stuff like that. But ideally, the one notebook can fit into my pocket, and I usually keep it in my pocket. But as it grows larger and larger, I keep it in my bag most of the times. But I then put them onto something else. I'll take them out, and I'll scratch them out, and then I'll get rid of one book. Anyways, try it. Try it for a month. Try having a little notebook around with you that just comes up. Ideas pop up. Benefits of that. Drawbacks of that. Different ideas that you could, that you want to move forward on maybe, right? Try it out. See if it benefits you. That's all I got to say for today. KOMK. You can check out theKingofMontauk.com and try it out. Keeping an idea notebook with you every day. Peace.